So I gave a definition. This is quite funny because here I am in New Zealand. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not married. Nothing like that. And here I'm describing this physical intimacy, like he mentioned in the movie. There, I was like, okay, it involves the five senses. I can understand kissing, touching, and all these things in the physical intimacy. And I'm describing this as the highest pleasure of your. It's like I'm pawning myself for what's coming, right? I was like, wow. And I did use the Song of Solomon as you read that through, and you're like, wow, this must be absolutely incredible. It's wonderful as you think about these things. So I think it's comical. I was reading it last night. I'm like, yeah, here I was writing about all this stuff I didn't even know about, right? And now I do, and yeah, it is pretty good. But I would say that there is different levels to this intimacy. The pure mechanics, obviously, is there, and I've actually talked to some people back when I was in the Philippines that, got sort of into that scene where they went to, the burlesque house or whatever like that, and they're like, yeah, it's like playing cards or something. It's just flat. There's nothing there. It was just like empty, right? So obviously, when people come to me and discuss relationships or whatever, and they're like, well, okay, you're friends first? Do you have that intimacy? Or are you strictly physical? Like, you just layer these as an onion, right? True love. Apropos topic for Valentine's Day. Much money, time, heartache, Hollywood, everyone's talking about true love. When we probably know more because we know the true love actually comes through Christ, who died for us, and that's our measure of what true love is. But people that are unchurched, true love is like this mystical thing. It's like, wow, and there's many movies out there that sort of portray this, and you're like, well, can I capture that? Can I have that? I want that. So I asked, what is true love, and how can you define it? When I worked at the Royal Bank, our email system could send out emails, but for security purposes, we couldn't retrieve any, just being a bank and stuff. So, it was like, and I said one day, our email system actually defines what true love is. They're like, well, you're crazy. What are you talking about? I was like, well, it says you can just send out to everyone, this nice little message, but you can never receive anything. You never know if they even got your message, right? So you send without receiving. And this analogy is likened to Christ, what he did for us. He died for all of us. And does he expect anything in return? No, it's grace. He did that because he loves us. So that sort of true love being a one-way thing where you give for your beloved, not for what you want to get. And that unselfish giving. So you can imagine the blissful state of a good relationship that has this, where each partner is giving to each other without expecting in return. Just wow, and then sort of knowing that their needs are going to be met. What a great analogy, or a great thing to mimic what Christ has done for us in that true love. So next intimacy I talk about is emotional intimacy. This emotional intimacy can be described using the heart. So l'amour, this Walt Disney, little comics with that little whatever he is, and he's got a little heart above his head, and he's, I think he's a skunk or something like that. It's like true love. This is one of the most interesting one because it leaves our hearts on a high or a low, depending on what our relationships are at. So either we have a skip in our step, or we have a blanket of doom that comes over us. It's very important, this intimacy, to develop this one, because it is a lasting intimacy, the emotion, the heart. We all have hearts. And it should be something developed in proper timing. So I think you need to develop this probably after you know the person for a while. Now, after saying all that, I'll take it all back. Because this intimacy has no rules either. It is as individual as we are. So if we are like the Romeo and Juliet type, oh, Romeo, where art thou, that type of oozing, pathetic, romantic, emotional person, or you could be the ironclad Rambo or Bruce Willis type. I'm never going to show my inner heart. I'm, ironclad heart. I am solid. So there's still emotional intimacy for even Rambo. He's still got emotions, but we display it in different colors, and so there's no real rules here. It's as individual as we are. And I believe that there's probably some danger in this intimacy. You know, we joke about people that run off to Vegas to get married, or they elope because they want people to know what they're up to. It's a very romantic side with lots of flowers and passion and music and good intentions. The real danger of this intimacy, if it's not coupled with anything, it just sort of, it goes away. It's like it can't last forever. It's sort of a, the romantic side. So if it's coupled with another type of intimacy, it lasts longer. So one of my favorite movies actually is Princess Bride. So here's a good example of kind of the over-the-top emotional intimacy that's not grounded. My true love will always come for me, which I thought was really funny. Or comments like, it must be true love. Not even death will separate them. It's like, well, yeah, I still like the movie a lot, but that's like way okay. So this is apparently, and I've talked to some people, and this is their view of true love, by the way. They think that that's where it's at. You got to find that in the world. Thinking, well, you ain't gonna find anything. Just find Christ, and you've got it, right? But you obviously have to sit with them and have a relationship before you can share that with them. So what about romance then? So I have a little image. When you're sitting on a sailboat, Lowell Ross will enjoy this. When you're on the sails and you've got your boat and your rudder, and then you've got all your ropes and everything to keep your sail in, and then you've got the wind that just blows freely. It's unpredictable, goes everywhere, blows everything. So romance can be thought as like the wind. It's like all over the place, and it's just there. Whereas the ropes and the rudder and the sails, kind of a little bit more, you want to capture that, and you have to ground that. So that would be like the wisdom, to ground the sails so you can capture the wind and your sailboat can go. Without the ropes or the rudder or any of these things to control the wisdom of that part, your boat's just going to flap away. There's not going to be any movement at all. And I think same with romance. It's not coupled with wisdom, then you ain't going anywhere. Then I went on to describe more, so I'll skip that a little bit, because what is wisdom? And I describe more about the Holy Spirit and how He gives us wisdom and the different things.